and who is your idol? And I would have to say that my idol is all the people I meet, all the people that, in spite of all the emotional, the mental strain, the emotional abuse, sometimes I'm actually going to call it abuse, because it's really, it is abuse. So, in the sense that even if I can change the story of what that person is saying, it still doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, right? Like it's going to hurt, but how you support yourself through that hurt and how you support your people, um, is important. And so I wanted to talk about that because what often happens is we can lead ourselves into guilt and more guilt and more guilt and all the guilt. So, what I can tell you is that until I really understand the difference between guilt and regret and remorse and all the things, I was kind of confused as to how exactly I'm beating myself up. What does feeling guilty mean? So I pulled the definition out, and what I found is this: guilt is an emotional experience that occurs when a person believes or realizes, accurately or not, that they have compromised their own standards of conduct or have violated universal moral standards of being significantly responsible for the violation. So what does that mean? Well, whether it's true or not, accurate or not, you think that somehow you've broken some moral code, you're the reason that all the things are happening. You're the reason. And guilt is really closely related to the concept of remorse and shame, right? Remorse and shame is more I am bad instead of something bad happened, right? So when we're talking about placement and the guilt that comes with placement, I want you to think about what what did you compromise? Your own moral code is probably what it's coming down to, because what's happening is you told yourself somewhere along the line that you were going to do it all forever and ever, amen. But there's no way you could have known that some of these twists and turns could have ended up like they have, taken you both down roads you never anticipated before, right? And you've never traveled. And so you're just a traveler. You're just trying to figure it out. And when you don't figure it out, or if you figure out a solution that doesn't align with forever and ever amen, somehow do we believe that we've broken our moral code? Our moral code was to stand by this person and love them through this. It doesn't mean that they've always got to live with us. I'm still going to love them, be with them through the whole journey. So my point in saying that is the guilt that we feel is so displaced, right? Do we really think, if we really got to thinking about the logic and the reasoning and not the feeling, the logic behind why we might have to place someone, could it possibly be we do the placement so you can have the life you both deserved by being together as husband and wife, instead of one of you being the care partner and one of you being the care receiver, right? Like it's not always easy, and those decisions, especially the hard decisions, we talked about them last night. Like, that's the bull ride. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to just not feel good. It's not going to be okay. But I promise you, it will be okay. Once you get out of the other side of that bull ride and you can settle into what is, you will be able to see the benefits. You will be able to see the logic of reasoning of your decisions. Now, if your decision so happened to turn out that it isn't the right decision, it didn't turn out the way you thought it was supposed to, right? It didn't hit the mark. Then we might have what we call regret. Regret is an emotion of wishing one had made a different decision in the past, because of the consequence of the decision is generally unfavorable. It's negative. So regret is reflective of a perceived opportunity that we had, and we took it and it didn't work. I regret that I did that. Not I feel guilty because I did something bad because I did that. Right? Like it's so about the story we tell ourselves about the moments that we were in. So I hope that kind of helps you as far as like the guilt. And just to simply remember that guilt is rational or relational when you actually cause hurt, right? That's rational guilt. All right. When you actually cause someone hurt and pain. Irrational is when you falsely perceive that you have caused the hurt or the pain, right? The hurt and the pain does not equate to I made you sad. I'm sorry that this is uncomfortable and you're not going to really like this, but if I'm really committed to doing the best for both of us, then this is where I need to be. This is where I need to draw the line for both of us, make a boundary, and love us both as much as I love you. So I hope that's helpful. The difference, most often we are irrational, and we're probably going to feel guilty because a lot of us have been trained to feel that way. Like it's part of our process. Somehow feeling super guilty about things, super bad about things, somehow it's ingrained in us. But let me just tell you, even if you have to be the one to sit down across from your person and say, Mom, I hate that this isn't working anymore, but I think you would agree. And my mom is in a place where I can have this conversation with her. Okay. So keep that in mind. But logic and reasoning, and if I'm being responsible to us, I know that this is the next right answer because every indicator is telling me that. And please, 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 please do not get to a point that placement becomes an option in a crisis. Like, we don't want you to get to a crisis. We don't want you to not outlive the people that you're supporting. So if guilt is in the way, I want you to actually think about, are you actually doing harm or are you saving our lives? Because both things could be true for you. Like, both stories are pertinent. I hope that makes sense.